Welcome back to a new episode of Talk It Out with Clins, Season 2, Episode 8. Today we have Mr. Shaju Varghese, a teacher and a therapist. Today he's here to talk about an issue which is not spoken about as much. That is mental health. Thank you for coming on the show. Well,
Thank you.
The first question that I have for you is, tell me about yourself. What made you choose counseling?
It was not I chose it. It just automatically tend to happen. There were like few people who came for just some talks, and then something happened where like the solution was given appropriately. Then the word spread, and then it went on. So that is how I ventured into the field of counseling.
How do you become a counselor?
See, there are various degrees and diplomas available, but the main ingredient for counseling is like you should have the gist of it.
Mm-hmm.
You should have the passion for it.
Mm-hmm.
You should know, if you're just doing it for money, I don't think so like you'll be a successful counselor. So being a counselor needs a lot of things. First of all, what we need is patience. You should be a good listener, very good listener. So you tend to like listen to the person first, allow him to open up, read between the lines,
Right.
what he wants it, and it's like mirroring. Show the mirror what it is, what he is or she is actually. So this is the, I would say some ingredients which will like pump up to become the best counselor. And obviously the sixth sense sometimes matters a lot, and it takes a lot of years to become a very much professional counselor.
It's such an honor to have you as a guest because you are doing counseling in many different fields. What are the different fields that you actually give
I
counseling?
basically do it in all fields. There are fields which are less spoken about, but I have like deterred myself now from the spiritual kind of counseling and like paranormal activities and all.
Okay.
Apart from that, there is relationship, there is parental issues, there are marriage, teenage problems, almost everything. But if it goes to a higher level, like with the clinical aspect, I refer it to some doctor who's like clinically appropriate.
Okay.
So I don't touch the clinical field or the medical field as such. So understanding what a problem of a person is my perspective. So once I determine the problem in maybe one session or something, so then I may divert it to my team. I have a team, so at this moment I divert it to the respective team. Otherwise I handle it myself.
Okay. So for you, what is mental health?
Now this is the biggest question asked by the nation or the world.
India wants to know.
Yeah. I think I would put it quite simply, It's, I want you to like quite simply put forth. If I ask like, to the audience who is watching me, are you mentally fit? The question would be a big question to you all, those who are watching me. You might feel that you're fit, but then I'll ask you, I would want to ask yourself 3 questions. The first question is whether you are a frustrated person, whether you are an angry person, or whether you are a confused person totally. So if you generalize these 2 or 3 questions and ask yourself whether you are a composed person, where you are like totally at peace. Right? I don't think so you get an answer that those who are sitting and watching would say that ki main total peace mein hu. So everybody who is not totally at peace has got some kind of mental issues. I'm not talking about the bigger one where we need medical treatment here, but they might need counseling. They might need a person who could like show them the direction so that it doesn't lead to depression or the higher state.
Okay. So talking about relationships, why does
one more thing
Okay.
I missed on like the main aspect of mental health. Now if I want to describe it in the most simplest manner, I would say that everybody has got childhood.
right?
Okay. Now in the childhood is the time where we nurture ourselves, we put in or we ask a lot of questions, and we need to get the answers.
Right.
And that is how personality is formed. But what happens is that there are a lot of questions which are unanswered. Lot of questions, lot of doubts which are unanswered. Maybe through your parents, or maybe through your siblings, or maybe through your friends or teachers, you might not get the right answer. So, aaj ka date pe, matlab, the biggest answer what we get is GOOGLE pe. Got it?
Yeah.
You search it.
Yeah.
And
You'll
there
find
are
it.
other sites also. Got it? I'll give an explanation on that, which you might get the right answer, which you might not get it. Now, for example, let us assume a rape happens.
Okay.
I rape someone. Okay. Obviously, I'm put behind the bars.
Right.
The legal thing comes in. I'm termed as a rapist.
Right.
Why did I do it? Got it. Do you think in a stable mind will I go and rape someone?
Definitely no.
No. Got it. So that means I have got a wrong concept about sex in my mind,
Correct.
which was not taught to me either by my parents or my teachers, and maybe I learned it from the pornography feed.
Okay.
So that instigates me to rape. So the mental health happened. The reason behind it is something different. So every disease you're talking about, obsessive compulsive disorder, bipolar or ADHD or
Right.
anything has got the base from the childhood perception of a human being, what he grabs from the society. Abiotic and biotic बोलते हैं ना, उसमें से मिलता है उसको.
So, what you just said, do you actually think that talking to certain problems of your life can actually save a relationship or can actually change life?
Yes. What happens is most of the people don't talk to a third party. The role of a counselor comes in where one of the persons decides, yes, I have a problem. The biggest problem is that
Right.
people say, I don't have a problem. You have a problem. I don't have a problem. Simplest example. If you have a habit of being angry, got it? And you will say, उसने मेरे को गुस्सा दिलाया.
Right.
Got it? But let me ask you, गुस्सा किसका है? तेरा है?
Right.
तो उसने दिलाया है, तो तू कंट्रोल करना चाहिए.
Right.
If you're crying, non-stop a crying baby, got it? बोलता मेरे को रुलाता रहता है.
हाँ.
Got it? The problem is where? His or yours?
मेरा अपना प्रॉब्लम है.
That means you're not managing your. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's.
So that's okay. That's okay. That's a part of like. That is also somewhere like.
Yeah,
Kind of
I was just so like मेरे को इसको पकड़ने का ये किसने डिस्टर्ब किया हुआ है, and then I was like, no, I'm just engaging with my viewers about anger management, and I can't just do this.
So you can actually the best way where we can talk on like each topic which I'm talking about OCD or ADHD or anger or something will take like 1 hour or something. Anger could be managed. You can be a better person if you decide that I have a problem and you start working on it. Cut off. Relationships break because one of the parties are not ready to work on it.
Right.
And they today like everybody wants to move on. They move on fast because it's a
Fast-moving generation.
Fast-moving generation. Alpha generation बोलते हैं इसको अभी कैसे?
Is it actually possible to have a healthy and thriving dating relationship or marriage while dealing with mental disorders?
See, I'll tell you one thing. Relationship is something which has to be worked on a daily basis.
Okay.
Got it. As the CEOs of the company check out for the sales report on a daily basis or a weekly basis, your relationship also has to be checked on. And open communication has to be there. If the relationship में communication open नहीं है, तो कोई relationship नहीं चलेगा. The gist of a relationship is open communication and sharing and telling कि this is the problem, let us work out. People don't work out. So it doesn't work. So we have options today.
Right.
There are a lot of dating apps today. There are a lot of jeevansathi.com.
Tinder.
गया तो Tinder.
Swipe right.
Yeah, swipe. Got it. और भी बहुत सारे हैं.
Well, I don't consider those as dating apps. That is something else.
Something else. But then for the satisfaction, जब यहाँ पर it's in the name of dating, got it? That term is used. For example, abortion.
Right.
Abortion is a technical term which is used. It is actually murder.
Okay.
But when the abortion happens, Bernard Nathanson, when he came in with the concept, when he brought the video, silent scream बोल के एक video है, देख लो. When he brought in the 80s, when the sonography came in, and when he saw the videos, तभी पता चला कि वो 75 clinics उसने एक दिन में next day से बंद करना चालू कर दिया था. The term nicely used, abortion.
Abortion.
I remember in my college days when one used to like get pregnant and say, hey, I'm pregnant. 10 दिन के बाद बोलते, hey, I aborted. तो हम लोगों को मतलब पता नहीं चलता. The moment I understood it, I said, so that is how dating is.
Okay.
नाम dating के नाम पे
ये चीज अलग-अलग
I don't want
उसके
to
साथ
open up
में।
here because there is the
Yeah,
decent
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of audience watching me here. If you want to know about Bernard, contact me.
Yes, if you want to know more about it, do visit his website. His website's name is Mindy.
Mindy.
It's Mindy.
Mindy.
MINDYYY.com. So definitely first question जो मेरे दिमाग में आ रहा है, why are there so extra three Ys?
Wise. Mind is something, got it, which I think everybody has it.
Yeah.
Why is the question I thought that ki everybody should ask each other, themselves and others. The
Right.
problem is that when we have a problem, we don't ask why. Got it. Simplest question if I can ask you that, why are you here? Why are you in this world?
Right.
Got it. Do you have an answer to it? Many people say, I don't know. Why are you doing your graduation? I don't know. Why are you getting married? I don't know. Asking that question will solve 99% of the questions. the problems of yours, जो भी है, the solution is within you.
Okay.
So that why is to ask questions.
That's a beautiful website. The description that you gave me about the website, it's really nice that you're
Thank you.
working to actually make people aware about mental wellness. It's a really great job that you're doing.
And it's free, huh? It's free for the COVID season alone.
Okay.
I tend to create this. This was in my mind since 1.5 years. But this COVID season, while I was like one evening, while I was like moving out, in 2 hours I saw 5 fights happening on the road, and I stood and watched. देखने मजा आता है ना? And then you learn, new bad words also,
Okay.
Trending, the trending ones. I was watching it, and then I saw, मतलब झगड़ा क्यों कर रहे हैं लोग?
Right.
And actually there was no reason.
Okay.
Then I understood it's the COVID situation. It's the frustration amongst them. They're fighting. That is why I thought that I think I should do something for the society. So that is how we launched it. I have a team, fantastic team of relationship coach, clinical counselors, and psychological counselors who are ready to, at the moment, all professionals, but ready to work for free. And we have begun the work. So that's it.
That's a really nice thing that you're actually doing. Do you ever come across a situation where you learn something from your client, or did a client ever had an impact on you?
Yeah, very much. There are cases which obviously, see, in counseling, one thing is that you can't be sympathetic somewhere. You have to be empathetic because you cannot connect to a client directly. And sometimes there are issues in their lives which gives you a jolt. कि ऐसा भी होता है. That is the experience which you get, because the thing is that many a times like we feel that कि मेरा problems बड़ा है, मैं.
Yeah.
But then when you listen to somebody else's problems, it gives you a little a jolt कि ऐसा भी हो सकता है. Or it like 11-year-old getting molested by her own brother, sometimes father, the stepfather, like raping the child. And this case had come to me like 10 years back, where I had around 9 sessions to happen to here. She used to go psychic when the marriage proposal used to come. I will not name the person. So when she used to like come and say that कि शादी के टाइम पे वो इतना हंगामा मचाती थी, बाल छोड़ के पागल हो जाते, she was under psychiatric treatment.
Okay.
So in counseling, one more thing we need to understand is to find the core issue. What is the core reason why she is reacting in that manner? So it took me like 6 or 7 sessions for her to open up and say that कि मेरे साथ ये हुआ था करके. And the medication was given. The medication which is given is just to calm her down. But then I went for a practical approach where we decided to fix up the marriage. We decided that कि not tell the marriage date. लड़के लड़की को मिलाया था. Engagement यहाँ पे किया, शादी गांव में किया. Engagement दिन में उसने थोड़ा सा हंगामा किया था. But today she is married and has a child.
That's really
like,
great thing that you're doing.
So that is like these cases. There are certain cases. There's one more, like it is known as paranoia. Paranoia could be somewhere like it could be anything. Okay, it could be the doubting nature of anyone. Now this is the worst case scenario which I've faced, which I've seen, where I could write a book on it. Or I could write a book on it where the person has no options. मतलब simple है, trust issues है.
Right.
For example, your wife is like doubting on you like every second, not it?
Right.
24/7. You will have no option, and there are no medications for it.
Okay.
So this is certain things which we don't have any solutions in psychiatry. It is trying to find a pin sometimes. When counseling, when somebody sits in front of you, you are basically trying to find that pin or that string which will be like thread of your hair to find the root cause. So that is your skill.
Interesting. You have dealt with 1,600 plus cases.
Yes, I have.
It's so many cases, it's so many personal stories. It's just like 1,600 personal stories that people are sharing with you. You've been treating them. Do you ever yourself personally go through mental illness? And if yes, then how do you tackle it?
See, there are scenarios when I used to do the spiritual kind of counseling. That's a total different level where the professional counselors might not accept it. It's like medicine, where you say about certain things about the paranormal activities which science defies. There could be like possession cases sometimes, and it might be, for a doctor, it might be a dual personality. Got it. So to understand that, you have to be in a spiritual
The
level.
song that is playing in my back head is dang, 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 the Bhool Bhulaiya thing.
Bhool Bhulaiya thing. Now that one was again, if you check out that he used
Yeah.
a practical thing.
Correct.
So 3 or 4 cases I did use such kind of practical things
Oh.
to get it out.
Okay.
But then when you counsel like the energy, let me tell you very clearly, it is not an easy job.
Okay.
2 counseling in a day, all the counselors who are listening, like 2 counseling in a day is enough. It drains you out. And there are cases where I've dealt with suicidal cases where we sit and talk to it. What happens is that you imbibe their energy sometimes. And when you imbibe their energy, वो energy आप में चले जाता है. I have seen that रात को 2 बजे मैं से बेड पे से उठ के बैठा हूँ ऐसा. And I'm wondering कि why this happened. Then I come to know that कि that's the energy which came from that person.
Okay.
So I am the next level of what I intend to work on my after this Mindy is energy levels. That is my new project, working on it. See how to increase your energy.
Spooky stuff,
Increase your
man.
energy.
Scary, spooky
Scary,
stuff.
but this is something different which I want to deliver to the world.
Do you ever consider suicide? Or if so, why do you choose to live?
You mean to say I considering myself to die?
Sometimes because of problems.
No, I have never ever had a thought maybe of that. Maybe in my teenage or beyond that. I don't actually recollect like about that happening. Now this thought happens in this 3rd level of depression. So if the person comes in and because see there are certain, I had counseled one guy, बहुत funny था. So कुछ भी बोलेगा ना,
Okay.
तो मैं जी के क्या करूँगा, पढ़ के क्या करूँगा. मैं बोला तू पढ़ लेना, तो काम करेगा, तो पैसे कमाऊंगा, तो
I could have actually an interview session just by doing this constantly.
so you get like अरे इसको तो का जवाब क्या है. Then I say यार he is on the 3rd level, please take him to a clinical psychologist, get him medicated and let him calm down, then I'll talk.
Okay.
So there are cases. So I don't think so. Like, see, the thought comes in. I have seen teenagers. That is worst scenario where I've seen them cut hands.
Right.
Blade से cut करते हैं, अपना sharpener से cut करते हैं. It's like inflicting pain. It happens because the thing is that you are not managing your emotions. वो pain इतना अंदर हो जाता है कि उनको पता नहीं चलता कि इसको कैसे बाहर निकाले. So inflicting a pain on self, they feel relieved little bit for that moment. But understand, it's just like having the first cigarette or the first sip of your alcohol, and then slowly becoming an alcoholic. Cigarettes, you jump into drugs. So this is what happens when they are doing that. So I've dealt with cases where I've counseled them and told them that you need to work on it when it happens. Talk to someone. The problem is that they don't open up. And today's teenagers, they are to themselves.
Definitely have to agree to that. Do you think that self-harm is normalized?
No, it is not. And I expect the new generation to come up with more self-harm thing.
Come up with more self-harm?
More self-harm. I'll tell you, like India, after this is COVID season, and after the COVID season, you might face more of frustrations. I have seen when I counsel like in schools, different schools, when I go for talks in Bombay schools, 3rd standard, 4th standard children, they harm others.
Okay.
Got it. Self-harm se jagah, they harm others. Matlab they inflict pain on others, and they feel happy about it. The reason is the games, the media. Got it. The games which is coming where like maybe it could be GTA or could be other games जो मतलब मारने पे
Games
मतलब
that has
हाँ.
more
So
about
that
violence.
happens here, and COVID में like children are like into mobile. There is a concept which is known as Haki no Mori something in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Now this thing is where the youth of that nation, certain percentage youth of that nation is sitting inside a room. They don't want to come out. They are happy with their gadgets, ordering food from outside. They are afraid to meet people outside. Matlab they don't want to have a social interaction. So again, if you talk about that, we are talking about mental health here. Let me tell you that today every parent is interested in the IQ, the intelligence quotient. मेरा बच्चे ने 90 लाया, 92 लाया, 93 लाया. But then when we are talking about the EQ, the emotional quotient, कहाँ पर है वो? Is he able to manage the emotions? नहीं होता, क्योंकि वो helicopter parenting बोल के concept आता है यहाँ पर, जहाँ पर the parent is like a helicopter घूमता रहता है, वो देखता रहता है कि ये बच्चे ने आज morning में कितना बिस्किट खाया, 3 बिस्किट खाया, टट्टी डालने गया, कितना मिनट बैठा, बाहर आया, got it?
Oh boy.
हाँ, ट्यूशन में गया, कितना बजे अंदर आया, फुटबॉल ग्राउंड पे छोड़ेंगे उसको, लेकिन फुटबॉल ग्राउंड खुद नहीं छोड़ेंगे, गिर गया तो उसके पास भागेंगे.
Yeah.
So he is not being given a chance to have, or to fight for himself or to problem solve.
Yeah. So sometimes it's not just the person who actually is to be brought in front of you. It's sometimes the surroundings.
The environment. If you talk about the environment, let us talk about now again. If you want to like check it out, India, US, United States, you could say everybody dreams of a country like that.
Right.
Education, systematic, और एकदम जबरदस्त. 12 बरस का बच्चा बंदूक लेके टीचर्स को मार डालता है. धड़. Don't you think वहाँ पर mental illness है?
Okay.
They have a mental illness. Alright. Now, why does that happen? Again, their environment is that way. Alright. Then you're talking about education. India, पे अपना Kerala ले लो. We both are like from Kerala.
Right.
He's also Varghese. I'm also
I was waiting for this moment when you get in this Kerala thing.
We are proud Kerala.
Proud to be Kerala.
Keralites. मजा आता है वहाँ पर. It is like awesome. Yeah, organized. That's like great when you say like, and like people look at, wow, Keralite. मतलब
Keralite.
brainy fellow. जब से ज्यादा इंकुलाब जिंदाबाद वहाँ पे होता है.
Yeah,
और
communism.
communism चलता है. Whatever it is. And educated. Got it. Highly educated.
Yeah.
पूरा literacy है.
Proud.
Yeah. कुछ भी बात पे discuss करो. Yes, this is it.
Yeah.
Got it. But then you think the mental illness or the mental health of Keralites are good? I would say I am not particularly targeting any state. Got it. So sorry if you feel so. If your ego is hurt, I am also a Mallu.
Yeah.
Got it. So take it that way. सबसे ज्यादा दारू, alcohol, percentage निकालो, पता चलेगा केरला में बिकता है. 31 दिसंबर में जो दारू वहाँ पे फ्लो होता है, होता है. ड्रंकर्ड्स वहाँ पे है, रेप वहाँ पे होता है, सुसाइड वहाँ पे होता है, and other things which I cannot like openly share here. So then, educated state having such a mental, health issues which is never brought forth, and the same goes with the United States. So that the environment does have an effect here, and today the environment is of COVID. Obviously that is going to have an effect, coming effect. The repercussions are going to come. अभी हम लोग अंदर बैठे हैं, एक बार बाहर निकलने के बाद पता चलेगा कि
actually उसका जो
वो अंदर से दबा के रखता है ना, it's like you just
building
you're
up,
waiting like
yeah.
I'm just come out, man.
How does society change or have an impact on a person? Like you just mentioned a few things.
For the society to change, the whole social fabric has to change. It is very difficult. With India, as we are multicultural here, everybody has got their norms.
Right.
Everybody has got their traditions. So when I talk to certain people, they have a lot of restrictions here. For those restrictions to change, it's not going to be very easy. It might take again eons, decades for that to change.
Do you think that social media can cause health issues?
अगर ये बोलूं तो मेरा फर्स्ट थॉट आता है एडिक्शंस पे.
Okay. हाँ.
Alright. एडिक्शंस पे.
Right.
अभी ओपनली बात करूं तो यहाँ पर देयर इज समथिंग नोन एज ऑब्सेसिव कंपल्सिव डिसऑर्डर. OCD बोलते हैं. Alright. ADHD पे भी आई विल गिव यू अ टिप ऑन इट. OCD का कंपल्सिव डिसऑर्डर माइट बी अ पर्सन लाइक यू चेक आउट लाइक ना हाउ मच इज योर स्क्रीन टाइम. Screen time is your mobile time.
Yeah.
How much time do you spend on the screen? But and everybody is euphoric. The generation now, जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं alpha generation, which people don't understand, parents don't understand. बोलते हमारे जमाने में तो ये था. हमारे जमाने तुम्हारे जमाने में बहुत फर्क है अभी. हमारे जमाने में दूरदर्शन चलता था, वॉशिंग पाउडर निरमा का एड चलता था, डाबरलाल दंत मंचन या मंकी चाप चलता था. Today look at, you are bored, you just swap 100 channels.
Right.
Got it. And like people are euphoric because they want more of happiness. This generation thrives on happiness and excitement. That is why they take selfies. Train के नीचे आ जाते हैं. Got it. They are like busy with the TikTok. अभी शायद बंद हुआ है. TikTok में like they feel happiness. कि हाँ. And actually they are not themselves. When they are doing it, they are not themselves. They want appreciation from others. This is one of the major cause of the generation here, where you try to find happiness in others. If you accept that I am good, I don't need your certification, man.
Correct.
I am happy as I am. I don't need your likes, man. So it's cool. But it doesn't happen. तेरे को 500 लाइक है, ठीक है. मैं 600 लाता हूँ. देखना मैं कपड़े कम पहनता हूँ या पहनती हूँ.
So this kind of impact that social media is having on the generation or the people, is it good or bad? it has a
It
pro
can
or
be. It has got pros and cons.
Both.
Because we cannot deny the use and misuse of. You have to accept it. You have to accept it. You cannot say कि ये गंदा है इसको बंद कर दो. लेकिन उसका अगर if the parent or if the person got it who is like dealing with tells about the pros and cons, it matters a lot. A simple example, there was this guy in college one day. ये मतलब social media का नहीं है. I'll tell you that how the pros and cons saved him. One fine day was walking. He said, "Sir, what? बात करना है." मैं बोला मुझसे बात कर बाहर आ जा. I'll just rush it fast. He came and said, "Sir, आज रात को मैं भाग रहा हूँ मेरे गर्लफ्रेंड के साथ." मैंने बोला wow. मैं बोला wow, great. I did not say what.
What?
I said wow, great. मैंने बोला कहाँ की है? बोली बाजू के कॉलेज की है.
अच्छा.
मैंने बुला ले 12:30 को बात करते प्लान करते. I will also plan.
Yeah.
So लड़की लोग का ग्रुप लड़के लोग का ग्रुप उसका दोस्त लोग सब आ गए.
हाँ.
मैंने बोला वाओ ग्रेट. ऐसे ग्रेट बोलता है तो भाग रहे. बोला हाँ. पैसे कितने हैं? सर 7,500 रुपया है. टिकट भी रेडी है. कहाँ जा रहे हैं? सर राजधानी से दिल्ली. बोला वाओ ग्रेट. मतलब फ्रेंड्स लोग सब सपोर्ट. ग्रेट.
Nice.
मैंने बोला ठीक है जाओ. तू दिल्ली जाके करेगा क्या? सोचने लग गया. होटल में रहेगा? हाँ. तेरे को रूम कौन देगा? बिलो 18. काम कौन देगा? हाँ. पैसे खत्म हो गए तो रिटर्न कैसे आएगा?
तो
हाँ. मैंने बोला मेरे को टेक्स्ट कर देना. ऑल द बेस्ट. एंड आई केम.
okay.
I did not do anything. They were standing discussing and I came home and the next morning like I said
Sir,
pray that this fellow doesn't go. Next morning I entered the college and he said good morning sir.
Good morning, sir.
मैंने बोला गया नहीं. बोलता है नहीं सर. So this is the way like if you can show the pros and cons even in social media, they understand. Children are genetically intelligent. एक बच्चा जो पहला पैदा होता था उसका मुट्ठी जो था 7 दिन तक बंद रहता था. 7वें दिन में खोलता था. अभी 1 दिन में खोल देते हो.
Okay.
This is genetic intelligence.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it a fact?
It's a fact. This is, I'm talking about the alpha generation, where children understand much more faster what you want them to portray. So
Right.
if you're talking about big stories, they'll be like, shut up.
That's why we have deadlines, and I'm getting a counter over there from my producer to end this, to wrap up this session soon. Before wrapping up, I have one last question that I can actually have. Are there any audience question out there? What message would you like to give to the people who are watching you right now?
I feel accepting that you have a problem is the biggest thing which you can do, rather than delaying it to an extent where you go out of hand. Addictions, I told you like I'm working on a talk on that. But the moment you understand that you are addicted, trying to find a help upright, or if you have a thought of suicide, finding a help upright, accepting that I have a problem will sort your problems. Don't try to swim in the water which is quite deep where you need help and you say I don't need help. Ask for help. It is nothing bad that mental illness is something which you feel that people might judge you, but opening up to someone, and like I told you, like,
But I'm so sorry to interrupt
Yeah,
you.
sure.
When people actually go out to look for help, it is their near surroundings that they look for help, and most of the times mental health is addressed like चल कोई बात नहीं अपन साथ में बैठते हैं शाम को.
no, that is a problem. See, there was one girl in my area, very close student of mine. I met her 1 week before, and she stood and she spoke to me for literally like 2 minutes, where she just to say hi sir and go. And like 1 week, somebody texts her, bola ki dash and dash sir committed suicide. I said impossible. I just met her. When I went and saw, she was.
Right.
It was like so shocking for me at that point of time. Why did she do it? She even told her friends, ग्रुप में बैठ के जो जीजी कॉलेज में बात कर रहे थे, बोला कि आज हंस रहे हो तुम लोग कल रोगे.
Okay.
She gave the indication, but nobody got the signal. So there are people amongst us who has this problem, who are either frustrated or either have some other abusive relationships, जहाँ पर मतलब father abuse कर रहा है या फिर uncle abuse कर रहा है, कोई abuse कर रहा है. So unless and until you take the strength and courage to say that I need help, we can't help you. So that is the reason I came into this, this concept of that online counseling where you can openly talk, and it is 100% secrecy. We don't discuss amongst our counselors also what the other client has told. Till date, I have got around 30 clients in this short span of time, and only the major case ये है sorted out या नहीं हम लोग बोलते हैं. That is how it is. So talk out is the message. talk it out as I'm talking out
Yeah.
with Clins.
I actually wanted that. I actually wanted that.
This is something great. Well, we can openly talk out. There are restrictions, I know, understand, but then talk it out. Talk it out openly.
It's this week we had planned for different kinds of people who can motivate, who can influence, and on Talk It Out with Clins, actually we are trying to get in more people who can influence people, even if they have not achieved something really big on their social media platforms. We get in people who can actually talk to people, and that's the whole idea
That
of
makes a
Talk It Out
difference.
with Clins.
That
And
makes
next week I request you guys to stay tuned with us. Next week we have more music artists featuring more rappers. There is a huge list of people who are joining with us. Till then, stay tuned. It was great.
Thank you so much.
It was great having this session with you.
This was great. I enjoyed it too. All the best, friends.
See you all on Monday.
Bye bye. Take care.
Yeah.